No one anticipated that, particularly not this Jim Jones, the Dipset's veteran, and her himself. Famous is now being held and is encircled by bright lights. Even though the police scanners and sirens were operational, the person was dead in the middle of a full-blown drug problem. The inquiry didn't seem real. The footage and a lot of conversation, which was unpolished and blurry, displaying the rapper standing outside the Ada warehouse in dimly lighted conditions. This is what investigators are calling a verified drug trade. Inside What the Devil is Happening in this city's streets, social media, minutes, blew up. Is this a sit-up? Was he set up? While hip-hop fans across the globe were desperately attempting to make sense of the situation, Harlem was burning with gossip and conjecture. What followed stunned the internet more than anything else. A lifetime friend, brother-in-arms, and co-founder, Cameron Jim's appearance said it all, went to lie on behalf of the Dipset organization. The stillness wasn't the only thing he felt, the tightness in his eyes and the hardness in his jaw. Due of the betrayal, it was a tragic event, and when he finally spoke, the real drama started. Started as a result of Cameron's failure to defend him. He didn't contest it, and he just made one statement. You guys have no idea how often the internet froze, and there are still a lot of questions. Was this the last breakup in a brotherhood that had been built on devotion? Under a dark cloud, the entire story is worse than anyone could have anticipated. The sky. As news spread, Harlem's streets felt colder than normal. Jim Jones had been imprisoned like wildfire. Regarding. At first, the majority of people didn't believe the drug trade. How could the legendary Dipset, who rose from the projects to international renown, become entangled in something so well organized? Everyone anticipated the typical internet chatter and petty rumors. However, this time, undoubtedly, shaky footage surfaced in a matter of minutes, and Jim's close friend's silence further served to fuel the craze. The video was brutal and unvarnished. It started with an unsteady handheld image, most likely captured by a security guard's phone or a passing pedestrian. In the yard behind an abandoned warehouse, Jim stood next to a sleek black sub. There was a single street lamp shining on his shadow. The person he was meeting had his face hidden under a hooded hoodie. However, the conversation was clear. A little package was passed from hand to hand. In the distance, onlookers heard a siren become louder. By the second, officers swarmed into the scene, shouting orders while flashing their badges. Jim was forced to raise his hands as the man in the cloak hurried out into the night. He looked directly at the camera, unfazed, as though he were defying the world to condemn him. The internet erupted in a matter of seconds, as it always does. Reposts exploded on social networking sites, videos of reactions and heated arguments. Is this authentic? Someone another on Reddit questioned. Did they frame him? Theories were spun by hip-hop blogs. Was this a power move? By adversary crews and an inside job orchestrated by the FI? Or had Jim reverted to his previous patterns? The rumors were persistent and unrelenting. The individual Cameron Jim, a longtime friend and partner, was the person who everyone most hoped to hear from. But for hours, Cameron sat in silence. His failure to reply just made the problem worse. Was he embarrassed? Was he genuinely in the dark or complicit? Both defenders and detractors demanded a response. Later that evening, Cameron broadcast live on his private social media platform. People paid attention. Almost immediately. There was no pomp and circumstance. Defeated only Cameron poem in hand, paced unrateable, sitting by himself in a darkened room. The soul. The sound of the far-off sirens echoing through the streets served as a reminder of the chaos that had followed for what seemed like forever. The silence was broken by Cameron. His voice was low, and heavy words were pouring in. "Y'all don't know the half," he said. In order to give context and defend his brother, many pleaded with him to say more. However, Cameron only gazed at the camera, a mixture of disappointment, rage, and something more visible in his eyes. Treachery. What he meant was the subject of conjecture. Some claimed that months ago, Cameron had attempted to warn Jim. There were some who thought Cam had proof of a larger plot. The fact that viewers were hanging was one thing, on each word, searching for meaning in a maelstrom of speculation. In the meantime, in anticipation of a statement from investigators by morning, local media set up shop outside the precinct. Jim was charged with distribution and intent to supply an undisclosed illegal substance, according to reports. Investigators had been after him for weeks, according to narcotics sources. Surveillance photos, phone information, and allegedly, Undercover agents had drawn out a network that stretched from Atlanta to New York. It was stated that the compounds used were not ordinary street drugs, but rather expensive, tailored medications. According to law enforcement speculations, these tablets might sell for thousands of dollars each, resulting in Jim Jones being confronted by some with disparaging comments, while others dropped flowers and heartfelt notes. For his liberty, the roadway was lined with news vans. They aimed their satellite dishes at the sky. By pausing the recording, passers-by commotion on their phones, contributing another footage to the ever-growing pile of video that is now available online. On a well-known forum, an anonymous poster asserted insider knowledge. For months, Jim has been in serious danger. The article stated, "New record sales fell, tour deals kept falling through, and he began transferring favors out of desperation." The phrase transferring favors quickly went viral. Some thought it was code for arranging deals and making money off of the sale of illicit drugs. Images from years ago that showed Jim attending private events with people who are now known to legal enforcement. Every photograph was quickly examined in depth. Then a text exchange between Jim and an unidentified individual was exposed. Although the conversation was short, everyone managed to inform me if you delivered the contact. Jim's response was straightforward. Stay silent. No explanation. No, just the hint that something clandestine had been brewing in that one communication. The time shook the internet. According to several conspiracy theories, the government was pursuing and framing well-known rappers. To provide an example, skeptics used the text as proof of